From Dandyland Studios, my name is Joey Helpish, and this is your Morning Cup o' Helpish. Every morning I try to get on here and play some tunes like a radio DJ, and I talk about some stuff, and I read some stuff. I'm going to make that part of this thing now. Good morning, baby. And cool. So the thing is that I've been playing some music that I produce. Morning, Chris. It's 8 a.m. Well, it's 8:03. Sorry. I've been playing some music that has been already released that I made and getting takedown notices from Facebook. So I have to be creative and not play anything that's been released. So I'm only playing stuff that's either really old and kind of secret or stuff that's brand new. Today, I decided I would look and see if I could find some juice to make it happen, and I did. So this first song actually has me on the intro of it at a live Juice to Make It Happen show, hyping up the crowd. But this is Juice to Make It Happen, the Wizard, the Minstrel, and the Renaissance Man. Morning, Mike.
To make it happen, make some fucking noise! There was a big ass explosion, crushed the town, smoke went, what's the commotion? Hot damn, I must have grabbed the wrong potion, cause his mix nearly cracked my cauldron. Cracked open a couple of cold ones and rolled one, relax with the pain of the desk with least stress. Coming over with the jizz, eat out your jesters, contestants, capsules, relentless. Cross the bench, shit from the king and the peasant, past the present, with a grand relaxed lesson. Hopping over fences, architectural lessons. Y'all didn't figure that I was a wizard, I'ma let y'all people know. I said if y'all didn't figure that I was a wizard, I'ma let y'all people know.
Okay, due to technical difficulties, we're going to start that over because I'm dealing with 3 different volume levels here, and one of them was down. So this is Juice to Make It Happen, the Wizard, the Minstrel, and the Renaissance Man. The dude hyping up the crowd at the beginning is moi.
See at the show, Juice to Make It.
Oh, that's good. There we go.
Make some fucking noise! There was a big ass explosion, crushed the town, smoke went, what's the commotion? Hot damn, I must have grabbed the wrong potion, cause his mix nearly cracked my cauldron. Cracked open a couple of cold ones and rolled one, relax with the pain of the desk with least stress. Coming over with the jizz, eat out your jesters, contestants, capsules, relentless. Cross the bench, shit from the king and the peasant, past the present, with a grand relaxed lesson. Hopping over fences, architectural lessons. So I don't get the mic to the $2 billets. Y'all didn't figure that I was a wizard, I'ma let y'all people know. I said if y'all didn't figure that I was a wizard, I'ma let y'all people know.
Similar to the wizard making a magic with his wand, poised and posted at the podium. I'm throwing them all. Striking serious motions, dose the rhythm and signature of the song. See harmonic minor, full beats to a bar. In the first overture, we got a legato with style strings section, bringing a message that this lesson is long. Next on the list, I twist the gist to the picture, cause I gotta strike up the percussion, the brushing, the taps of violins, plucking staccato. Now hold up and enter the melody. You're telling me now I told you the viola's fiddle and a ditty that you can get busy with, and now the symphony gets ready to fold up. With a bass line that blows up now is rolled out tight. These Elliot's dogging and dog was showing us the light. Right. Now I'm feeling like it's clear in my sight. It's real nice and smooth, just like an herbal lotion. Now what it was seaweed an inquisitive notion. It's the wizard trying to render wizard's mechanical and it causes a chemical commotion. And oh shit,
Putting together the potions with emotions of magic wand.
living in the bonded days, long gone. On top of the battlements, rattle with power crossbows and catapults, projectile out of control. Whoa.
Scraps the shrapnel, pillars, civilian settlement.
Gotta get rid of all but a little leftover towns. Folk to tell of it, for the hell of it, they plunder and wage war until the Renaissance wants to spawn the magic and mages of minstrels that make more.
Oh, what's that contraption hiding in the shrubbery? Oh no, it's another resilience discovery. Cover me wizardry with your staffs of all, so we can forge out the colory of solid gold. I'll touch it to the automated beat machine, so we can accompany entities the minstrel see. Weaving up a web with his lyre and lute. No need for brute strength when we lure with a flute. Yo, let me notate while the dungeon rotates. Aiming my sights at the mechanical face. Wait, is it my luck or is it only my fate? That I, the Renaissance man, designed the game. There's a weak spot in between the lock and keystone. Quick justice, bust a soprano, C-note. Notice the wall came tumbling down from the frequencies emitted from the minstrel's mouth. I'll do some more tests later, they're inaccurate now. That's just when Mr. Wizard disappeared in the cloud thick. He reappeared with a kettle and a fire in hand. And plan to make another potion with the beak of a toucan. And don't forget the 7 ingredients which I threw into the pot in Fibonacci sequence. We brewed while the troops troubadour kept an ear ready with an audio ability.
Clearly ahead of it.
He gave us fair warning that an army was coming.
With many men running down the stairs and dozens.
But we through the wise stood stiff and sturdy, unafraid of any evil, no matter how dirty. If you didn't get the gist of this ancient adventure, as a man of the Renaissance, I'll paint you a picture. If you didn't get the gist of this ancient adventure, as a man of the Renaissance, I'll paint you a picture. It's the wizard and the minstrel, the Renaissance man, the alchemist and melody. It's the wizard and the minstrel, the Renaissance man, the alchemist and melody. The wizard and the minstrel, the Renaissance man, the alchemist and melody. It's the wizard and the minstrel, the Renaissance man, the alchemist and melody. The wizard and the minstrel, the Renaissance man, the alchemist and melody.
Boom. Good morning, buddies. You just heard from my longtime buddies, Juice to Make It Happen, a little bit of trivia for you. Right when the Juice to Make It Happen disbanded, a few members went and did some other stuff. One of them became the bass player in my band, Uncle Nancy and the Family Jewels. And then another one became the main producer and keyboard player for Keegan Smith and the Fam. So I'm going to do one more Juice song. I just found this live thing. And it's a live version of Brain Fruit Juice. I believe this was at the show where they opened up for the Wailers. I think so. I'm going to go grab a little bit more coffee, and then we'll get going. In the meantime, please hit the share button, smash that love button. Also, say hi to Kirsten, who is in the live stream and next door and awake at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is a rare thing. So please give her all the love. And check out this song.
It's all about the brain. What I think brain is from producing the juice, the product of well-nourished roots. Without the roots, boy, where would your brain be? The brain is the fruit, produces the juice, the product of well-nourished roots. Without the roots, boy, where would your brain be?
When a solid state deep down in the dirt, the seed sprouts straight out of the earth. The birth of the roots break ground. It's out to the finish and they'll sing it real loud. Everybody rise up, never come down. So you'll feed your mind while the lyrics are so they're elevating your weight, soaking the waves and grow. So you made it to the sunlight, besides the sea, the walls to fight it when it flies to flee. Each man fights for himself, but we're about just trying to be, trying to see in order to be free. Gotta separate between your wants and needs, material things, forget about growing pains. Plus stays close, not skin, be stains, but can't kill. Took the steal, your pride, your mind, free will. Like you look, be able to feel these feelings, tip the colors of chalk, the fork, the will. That about a God's alive. life. They got a couple lucky hands and a couple more shitty deals. So soak it all in, you can begin to see the light that branches the tar and leaves the grain. And the ones that float can never sink. And you need some advice. I'ma tell you what I motherfucking think it's
Rain is from producing the juice, the product of well-nourished rooms. Without the roots, boy, where would your brain be? I said the rain is from producing the juice, the product of well-nourished rooms. Without the roots, boy, where would your brain be? Come on! We'll make it happen. Make it funky and rough.
all right. I know what you want to do. Say, shake your brain, just shake your brain. Everybody in the place, just shake your brain. Shake your brain, just shake your brain. Everybody in the place, shake your brain. Shake your brain, just shake your brain. Everybody in the place, just shake your brain. Shake your brain, just shake your brain. Everybody in the place, come on. Well, it's relevant, he's at least telling the truth to you. Who knew the crew could sprout roots around a brew? Who brains be right, the right type with vitamins and minerals. People providing the lives quite healthily. Hell, your mind is the money, we'd all be quite wealthy. But I owe it to my mama's belly and the sparkle on the darkness of my daddy's eye. My own mom power is a fraction of the actual cloud. Hold out, bad life, given I was risen from the earth, water, and sky. My mother and my father and the other family died. It's not a surprise. Plants flourish, you can nourish it with courage and love. A belly won't shrivel if it gives it grow. I'm not gonna acknowledge you can fiddle it up. Stuff with two bucks, two cuts, group of group hugs. Plant the seeds of hip hop and leaves will pop up.
It's fruit, produce, and the juice. Juice the product of well-nourished rooms. Without the roots, boy, where would your brain be? It's fruit, produce, and the juice. Juice the product of well-nourished rooms. Without the roots, boy, where would your brain be? Get it close up. Rain is a fruit which produces a juice. Would I be without these well-nourished roots from my youth? Soaking all the knowledge from these saturated books. And if I had a fruit, I couldn't take a look or read a glance around. Beautiful colors upon grounds, from the desert and the jungles on top to the top. Near and far, creative, innovative, mind and never recall. Left open a job, take anything in this positive to help me live so I can shine and show the path to what you kids you did. Sit and listen to the brother like to get with wisdom, mixing out the decision. Juice of it in the middle like a pharaoh with a every day is a climb. Why the kids of your past? If you like it with the wealth success, you can keep planting seed and breathe. Take it in like you breathe. And if you want to like a woman, get a machine said until you can see. Life for life without the fruit that you need. And remember life for life without the fruit that you need. Well-nourished fruit, produce and juice, uplifting you. Well-nourished fruit, induce and fruit, produce and juice, uplifting you. Well-nourished fruit, induce and fruit, produce and juice, uplifting you. Well-nourished fruit, induce and fruit, produce and juice, uplifting you. I said, uplifting you. Uplifting you. Uplifting you. Uplifting you.
Boom. Well, that was wonderful. I haven't listened to the Juice in a while. That was Juice Make It Happen, band from Eugene. Boy, that was like 12 years ago, I think. Anyway, let's do this thing. Today, my background beats are some beats I made I had a student just play guitar to nothing when he was 18. Almost 2 years ago now. And I just chopped up these beats and made them out of the guitar. Good morning, buddies. Please, in the comments, let me know how you doing. How this stay-apocalypse is treating you so far. Now that we're, super deep into it, boredom is starting to happen. And my hope for you and for myself is that from the boredom comes some innovation, some innovative thoughts, and some creativity. It is my job to remind you that you're supposed to make stuff. always and forever. So I hope you make some stuff today. Or if you've been making some stuff and you need to take a break, I hope you take a break. That's been happening with me lately, because I've had to sort of force myself to play some video games or just like do something that is not making things, which is okay. So I'm going to read some stuff today. I want to talk about a thing that I haven't done a good job of talking about. So you'll see in the description, there is a digital tip jar. I go live every morning at 8 to do Cup of Helpish, and I go live every night at 7 to do some live song therapy or some sort of musical thing, performance-ish. And I always put the digital tip jar, the PayPal link. What I haven't done a really good job of, that I'm trying to remedy now that some awesome things happened this week, is explain what I do with all donations and all tip money, which is I put it into a scholarship fund for Dandyland Studios. If you don't know, Dandyland Studios is a thing that Kirsten and I own and run, which is a online music school and song therapy clinic. And so with scholarship fund, with all your donations, I use that to give people price breaks, or to pay for especially kids who can't afford music lessons. That's a big deal to me because I was one of those kids. And I had some people in my community who were very generous and helped me. So I would like to do that. And here's what's cool. I've been doing this on a steady schedule now for like a couple weeks. Really steady for a week. And people have been donating. People have donated so much that we raised $200 in like a week and a half. And there is a kid who was, we did some free lessons, and we really wanted to work with them, and their parents just lost all their income due to this nonsense. And so I was able to pay for her term for 3 months of weekly lessons with the donations that you guys have given me. And thank you. And so the reason why I'm trying to be more vocal about that is that I want to do that again. It sets me on fire. It makes me really fucking excited. Side note, all week, free music lessons. And just pretty much if you know anybody, adult or kid, but especially if there's a kid locked in their house and they have an instrument in that house, I want to help them. So holler at me and let me know if you know anybody like that, and I would really like to get a hold of them and see if I can teach them some stuff online. So, let's set this thing up. So, if the spirit moves you, and you want to motivate me to keep doing this thing every morning and every night, then please drop a few shekels in the digital tip jar. The PayPal link is in the description of this video. And let's talk about the morning thing and these shows. They've been incredible. Way better than I thought it would be. I have this thing I call mic fright, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I have good stage presence. I don't have stage fright. I've never really had stage fright. But if I get alone in a room with a microphone, I freeze up. A little less with singing, but it still happens. And I've wanted to be a podcaster for a really, really long time. I really feel like it's in me. I've tried several different ways of doing that. One of them we're going to listen to at the end of this show. And so I've done like music showcases. I did a sort of audio fiction thing way back in the day. I did a thing called How to Music, way too much editing. And then I did Professional Amateur, which is kind of like, that's what I want to talk about. So I rebranded How to Song, and I turned it into professional amateur, which is a term that we use a lot around these parts. And I started doing interviews. It was really awesome at first, and then I stopped doing it. It's been a month now or something, and it was like cooking along. But it's still, even though it didn't require a lot of editing, which is what I'm trying to not do in my life ever, it still required like getting a hold of guests and like doing all this stuff. And while I'm still interested in like interviewing people and talking to people on a podcast, I started to realize that I was like not liking it. And I'm glad that I realized that right away, because one of the biggest things that I've been trying to do in my life is realize when I put off something, it's because I'm not willing to do it, or I don't really like to do it, or it's just not a thing that sets me on fire. I've been on here every morning at 8 o'clock, give or take in the beginning, but now it's like pretty consistent, because I like this. I like seeing the little numbers. I like that there's some sort of interaction. So last night I just really had a lot of thinking on this, and the biggest thing, and this is why I'm sharing this, is like really taking a step back and going like, if I'm not on fire for this thing, then it's a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of my guests' time. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of the listeners' time, because they're going to invest in this podcast that I'm not going to be consistent with. What I have been consistent with is hopping on and doing my radio DJ thing in the morning, and I have been consistent with live performance. So I would love feedback on this from you guys, but what I'm thinking is that I'm going to start a new podcast that is the audio feed from these morning things and the evening things, which means it is what I have always wanted to do, is have a daily podcast. I don't believe in too much content. The people that I love to follow put out stuff every day, and I don't always listen to it every day, and sometimes they have a podcast on a topic that I just skip, but I like that, and I want to be able to provide that. So this show may possibly have its name changed to What the Helpish, because I think that's what the podcast is going to be called. I like that whole thing. I don't know. I would love to hear feedback from you guys, especially like BJ, Mike, and the people who are, here every day and paying attention. I would love feedback on that sort of thing. But I feel like things are starting to get kind of spread out, and I want to put everything into one kind of. And then another thing that I've been battling with is that is doing things that are too me. And I think that's ridiculous, because I like being me. I like going all in on me, and it motivates me and it keeps me going. What I was trying to do with Professional Amateur was more community-based things, which I like. But I just think that I need to let it happen instead of try to force it to happen. And really focus things around being myself and stuff. Anyway, so that's that. I would love to hear your feedback on what you think I should do about like turning this morning thing into a podcast, and maybe changing the name. Maybe I keep it. Maybe I could have a podcast called What the Helpish, and in the morning it's Cup of Helpish, and in the evening it's some live music. Yeah, let me know, please. I need some help thinking about the things. Okay, so yesterday I did a bunch of reading from my book, What the Helpish, Volume 1. And I thought it went really well, and I actually sold a couple books. So I think every morning I'll try to read 1 or 2, maybe 3 articles. Little essays, these short little things that I've done. So I'm going to do one that I haven't read, and then one that I have read today, and would love feedback on that stuff. So this one is called, coffee's good. This one is called The Case for Bare Walls. The year was about 2004. a little cottage in Eugene, just off U of O campus. I will never forget the first time I invited a friend over. Wow, I did not expect this. I thought you would have like amazing art on the walls. It feels so empty, she said. I have fought with this concept of bare walls most of my life. At that time in my life, I had fully embraced bare walls, and it was one of the most important productive times in my existence. When I was younger, my mother was always buying me posters and things to hang on the walls. I hated it because I would always end up staring at the posters and getting distracted from my real passion, to create. I would often end up taking them down. In middle school, I grabbed my dad's hunting rifle, loaded it, and pulled the trigger. Thankfully, my dumb ass forgot to turn the safety off, and my mom grabbed it out of my hand and called for help. By that evening, I was in a lockdown mental hospital. My stay there would change my life forever, just not the way anyone expected. I refused to participate in most activities. I was never good at being told what to do, but they always allowed me to sit in my room with bare walls and make stuff, mostly clay sculptures and drawings. And so I did. In my 2-week stay, I made hundreds and hundreds of drawings and about 20 to 30 sculptures. I left feeling healed, but not because of medication or talk therapy, because I was allowed to sit in an empty room with empty walls and create. It's the ability to release a thought and have it bounce back to you uninterrupted. And it's the boredom. Sitting in nothing and getting bored is foreplay for creativity. Sometimes waiting for inspiration is like waiting for a sociopath to give you love and empathy. Often, productive creativity must be pushed. You have to sit alone in a room with no input in your tools and just make. I have found that it's easier with bare walls. Bam. I hit the wrong button. Okay, before I read the next thing, I'm going to go to all the comments that I missed. Because buttons. Hello, Chris. Turkey says meow. While I'm doing this, please hit the share button. Smash that love button. My lady love says, honey, you're on fire on the AM. The background beatness is great. Beatness. Morning, UV. If y'all don't know about Yak Zoo, you better fucking learn right now. Morning, Patrick. You're my favorite human on the internet. Okay, maybe you're in my top 10, but you're definitely in my top 10. All right, so I want to do one of these things. You know what? I'm going to do something from, maybe I'll do one or two pieces. Yeah, these are shorter. These pieces that I'm going to do are from, they're spoken word pieces from the album Dandelion Eyes, which is on Spotify and stuff, released by Dandyland. Okay, so here's this one. Deal with your problems. It shall all work out. As long as you stay strong, have integrity, and slay your dragons. Deal with your problems. Don't cover them up with selfish things or fake smiles. Weather the storm. Surround yourself with wholesome, righteous people. Help others and tell no one about it. It's the best kind of secret to keep. Cherish alone time, but know this. You're not meant to go it alone. You cannot slay many dragons all alone. Someone must have your back, or shit will sneak up on you. But don't settle for any dipshit with a shield and a sword, or a clan of barbarians. Be the warrior that attracts another hero. And since why not, I'm going to sing the song that piece goes into. The song's called Dragon Slayer. They say nothing lasts forever. It ain't simple. You should run away. Oh, but I say you should stand your ground and prove 'em wrong anyway. Because the hard part is the best part. When you're telling the story about the dragon you slayed. And the hard part is the best part. When you're telling the story about the dragon you slayed. And all at once. The rain came crashing down upon you, and you tried so hard to keep it back. Now you just swimming. Now you just swimming. You better keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. You will drown. You better keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. You will drown. Well, they say if you love something enough, then you should learn to let it go. Oh, but I say you should nurture it and give it stable ground to grow. Because the hard part is the best part. When you're telling the story about the dragon you slayed. And the hard part is the best part. When you're telling the story about the dragon you slayed. And oh, and once. The rain came crashing down upon you, and you tried so hard to keep it back. Now you just swimming. Well, now you just swimming. You better keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up, or you will drown. You better keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up, or you will drown. Because the hard part is the best part. When you're telling the story about the dragon you slayed. And the hard part is the best part. When you're telling the story about the dragon you slayed. Boom. That's the second time I have played a song during the morning show. So maybe I might make that a part of things too. Okay, I'm going to read one more piece. And this is my favorite piece because it's about grandma and shit. Okay. When I was a young dandelion boy. No, I'm going to start that over. When I was a young dandelion-eyed boy, I asked my grandma where God was. She smiled and said everywhere. I thought about this for a moment, and then I asked what God was. Love, she replied. Then she smiled and said, see what I just said? Love is everywhere. So when you feel alone, know that you are not without love, because it is everywhere and in all things. Possibly God is just too abstract a concept for you to grasp right now. But all children live closely to love, so perhaps this you will understand. Let love into your heart. Choose to follow love and share the good news of love everywhere you go. And when your heart breaks, it's okay, because it makes space for growth. So plant a seed of love in that space and grow a flower. Take that flower into the world and find others to plant a garden with. Water that garden with love, and brighter days will seek you out. Boom. I love that piece. All right, let's keep these things rolling. So one of the things I'm going to do, I'm starting to, I don't know if you can see or tell, I'm starting to have regular things that I do. So I'm always opening with some music, preferably not mine. And then ran a little bit, doing some reading, probably going to start, doing a piano song every morning. And then at the end, I'm going to play some kind of album-ish thing or an EP. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to, since we were talking about all my failed podcasts, one of them was Nancyland. And the first episode called Drive was like this, it was like every week I made an EP, basically, which is funny that I don't do that anymore, that I felt like it was too much work, even though every week I make an EP. Whatever. So again, if you're just chiming in, or to remind all the people, here's some things we talked about today. First of all, if you keep trying to do something and you keep not doing it, that means you don't like to do it. So don't. Just do stuff you like, especially right now. And so I was trying to do all these different kind of podcast things, and I kept not doing it. I would do it for a little bit and then stop. One thing I do like is live performance. I don't like editing. I don't like scheduling interviews. It's hard for me to admit that, but I don't like to do it. And maybe someday I'll get someone to help me that likes to do it. But for right now, I got to focus on what I am willing to do. And I am definitely willing to do this every morning, and I enjoy it a lot. So I'm going to start a new podcast. Live is the way. And I'm much better at it than I am editing. I love editing kids stuff. I like it when kids, come over. I love the workshops when the kids come over and they just give me a bunch of takes of nonsense, and I get to put it into something that is somewhat listenable. That is fun. That's fun editing for me. But I'm a live guy. I'm a, lead from the loin. I'm a Scorpio, and I like that stuff. So I'm going to focus on that. And what I'd love to hear from you guys is should I call the podcast What the Helpish? It's my favorite term. Because I think, within that, it'll be the morning cup of Helpish, and then the evening. I'm doing both of those things every day. I'm doing this thing, and then I'm doing some sort of performance, some sort of musical thing at 7 o'clock live. Those have been consistent, and I want to keep doing them. And I've always wanted a daily podcast, and oh my gosh, maybe it's 2 times daily. Holy crap, I don't know what is going to happen, but that's dope. I want to do that. Joey No Edit. Cool. So I think I'm out of things to say, but I would love to hear from you guys if you guys have any questions this morning. Oh, thanks, BJ. BJ says Cup of Helpish launches the day with a solid foundation. I don't know how solid it is, but I appreciate you saying that, and I do appreciate this time. And it's forced me to get back to a sleeping regimen that works for me, which is like waking up at 6 or 7 and slowly becoming a human. And then by my second cup of coffee, we're good to go. Melissa says poignant AF. Good morning, Melissa. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this other thing that I wanted to play today. And then I'm going to get up and move around, but I will be back here. Okay. Where is it? Oh, let's just vibe out to this beat. Just for a second. While I'm finding the files. So good. Okay, so we're just gonna vibe out and listen to some stuff while I get up and move around. So you might not see me, but you'll still hear music. So this is the first episode of one of my many failed podcasts. I think the problem is, and I like what Kirsten is saying, I think the issue that I've been having is that I've been trying to do one thing. Instead, I just need a channel for all the one things that I do. You know? Because I can't stay on one thing for too long. But it would be cool to have a place where people can just check in on all my one things. So this is Just Drive. This is the first episode of Nancyland, one of my many failed podcasts. And let's listen to it. I made this whole thing, by the way, all the music. I guess that's something that's cool about this project. Everything was made on a phone. I made this on an iPhone 6 that we're about to listen to. There we go. You're listening to Nancyland, a musical podcast by Uncle Nancy. Episode 1, Just Drive. Good morning, Alex. We're listening to an album I made that was the first episode of one of my many failed podcasts, Nancyland.
I'll see you on the brighter side of life. I'll see you on the brighter side of life. And we can sing our songs till the early morning. See you on the brighter side of life. The isolation is the hardest. We've always known it's true. I had to learn to shine in darkness just so I could find my way to you. And I'll see you on the brighter side of life. I'll see you on the brighter side of life. And we can sing our songs till the early morning. See you on the brighter side of life. Though their words of wisdom, they can still cut like a knife. So I'm thankful for what I've given.
satellite. I'll see you on the bright side of life. We can sing our songs till the early morning. I'll see you on the bright side of life. Standing in the doorway laughing at myself 'cause I did it again. I forgot if I was coming or going out. You just smiled and gave me a drink and said maybe I should be thinking about trying to go in another round. Send me an angel and I'll teach her to behave. Send me a devil and I'll teach her to be brave. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Tori.
As I stand here judging backwards, trying to make sense of my perceptions of my messed up reality. You just smile and give me a drink and said that you've been thinking I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a front of the bottom of me. Send me an angel and I'll teach her to behave. Or send me a devil and I'll teach her to be brave. La da 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 da. 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 Standing in the doorway laughing at myself 'cause I did it again. I forgot if I was coming or going out. You just smiled and gave me a drink and said that you've been thinking I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a front of the bottom of me. Send me an angel and I'll see break my spirit now. It's okay, you can count on me when you're blowing down tragedy. I guess we're all just victims of our youth. You know, they say that usually things will work out randomly. I guess we're all just victims of our youth. No need to cover up with makeup. All of the scars from the battles that we take up. I guess we're all just victims of our all just victims of our youth. I guess we're all just victims of our all just victims of our youth. No need to cover up with makeup. All of the scars from the battles that we take up. Ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. Ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. I'm a warrior. Ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. I'm a warrior. Ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your friendly neighborhood Uncle Nancy. I made this whole thing on my phone in a couple of days. I'm going to try to do this once a week, at least, for as long as I can. So every week you'll get new, fresh. spirit now. I'm a warrior. Well, ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. I'm a warrior. Well, ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. I'm a warrior. And ain't nobody gonna break my spirit now. I am a warrior. And ain't nobody gonna break your spirit now. 'Cause you're a warrior. And ain't nobody gonna break your spirit now. 'Cause you're a warrior. For real. You're a fucking warrior. You're a fucking badass. Cool? We get it? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Just to go through all the things we went today. First of all, if you keep not doing something, it means you don't want to do it, and you should do the thing that you want to do. Obviously, there's maintenance things that you have to do, but when it comes to projects, one thing that I've really been learning is that if you keep doing something, or if you keep not doing something, that means you aren't willing to do it, and you don't want to do it, and you should go in on the things that you want to do, especially creatively. Also, we have the digital tip jar and all these things. I'm here every morning at 8, and I'm here every night at 7. Morning doing this kind of talk thing, and at night doing the singing. Always have a digital tip jar. I'm trying to be better about telling you where that digital tip jar money goes, which is to a scholarship fund that pays for kids who can't afford music lessons from me, or people who can't afford song therapy. And since I started doing this twice daily live stream thing, we raised over $200. So I got to use that $200 to pay for music lessons for a kid whose parents lost all their income. So thank you. That's rad. Also, I did a post last night about raising some money, and we've already raised $100. So that means since this COVID nonsense has started, you guys have helped me raise $300 to help pay for music lessons for kids who can't afford it. That means you're a fucking badass. So thank you. And if the spirit moves you, please throw a couple shekels into the little donation tip jar thing there. It's just a PayPal link. If you don't do PayPal, go ahead and you can send it to me in Messenger if you want. And I have a post on my page, just a little video of my face. And I'm keeping you guys up to date in the comments there of how much we've raised so far. So we raised $200 and we paid for 3 months of ukulele lessons for a kid. And we've already raised another $100. So thank you guys so much. Also would love to hear anybody's thoughts. You can send me a message, you can comment in here about turning what I've been doing live, and taking the video and putting it on YouTube, and taking the audio and put it in a podcast, and just calling the podcast What the Helpish, that's got at least 2 episodes a day. Get some nuts, I guess. Glutton for punishment. But the point is there's 0 editing, so it's not really that much punishment for me. I like doing live things. Also, they're doing free lessons for kids who are stuck at home, and also free song therapy for adult humans who are stuck at home. And I will be back here at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think I might try writing a song tonight instead of doing a whole... I've been doing lots of performances. And maybe tonight I will sit and write a song and maybe produce the thing right before your very eyes. Cool. So, hugs and wishes. Have a dandy day. Stay home. Stay safe. And I love you. Thanks.